Hi, welcome to Volleyball One-on-One. Today we're going to be talking about shoulder injuries for volleyball spiking and how to avoid and fix deceleration shoulder injuries. I played at UCLA and I'm sure as many of you volleyball players know, a lot of the injuries come from having to slow down your arm as you're coming forward. I'm here with Ryan Kendrick from Dynamic Tape, and their company has created a biomechanical tape that is very different than regular tape in that is a lot more stretchy and expandable, and this unique properties allow you to do different things when fixing volleyball form and sorting out volleyball injuries. So tell us a little bit about the tape and yourself and what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, thanks. I'm a musculoskeletal physiotherapist, so my background is with a lot of athletes in the fields of cricket, tennis, and now volleyball at the top levels. And we always wanted something that we could use that wouldn't lock movement up, because our guys are getting into such complicated positions and so on. And we found with the tapes that are available, we often run out of room. They just start ripping off, or they couldn't get into the positions they needed to. We also didn't have something that could actually directly take some of the load out for them. So this is like having a spring or a bungee cord, a big rubber band on that's going to provide some of that deceleration force for you, but doesn't lock you up, because importantly, one of the big ways we dissipate load is to move at your shoulder, move at your shoulder blade, move at your trunk. And we need to allow that movement, because if we lock it up somewhere, it's only going to get shifted somewhere else, and then we're going to get an overload problem somewhere else. So this allows us to move through full range, but it does some of that work for us.
Okay, so show us now, you're using two tapes there.
So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to do what we call a power band, where we laminate two layers together. It just gives us a stiffer or a stronger spring, a little bit more recoil. So it depends on the forces involved and so on. A lot of the time one layer is enough, but just for today's purposes, we'll show you how we do a double layer.
I'm a big strong guy.
Big strong guy. And so what you can do is, even just to help your adhesion, just use the adhesive spray. Give a really light spray just to the back of the first one. Really important that's really light. You don't want to soak it in spray, just a really light spray. And then we're just going to lay one on top of the other. Just make sure there's no stretch between the two layers, because it's elastic. If you've got a lot of stretch on there, it's going to want to shear off itself.
Sure.
So we're just going to lay that on, one on top of the other. No stretch between. You'll know if you're stretching it, because it'll narrow out, and you'll see the difference in the width of the two layers. Lay that down. If you get tangled up, just peel it off.
What's interesting is this is pretty easy to do. So for you coaches or parents, this is not a crazy tape job. This is something that you could do with your athletes, which is important.
Absolutely. And look, it's all based on what we're finding on the anatomy and the biomechanics and the injuries that's involved, and you can take it to whatever level you want. If you're a physical therapist or a trainer and you've got expertise in that area, then you're going to fine-tune it and modify it. But just as a simple one to take load off everything, this is a great way to start.
And Ryan shot some of those videos on his site at dynamictape.com.
Right. So we're just going to round the corners here, which just gives us stops those corners lifting and peeling so easily.
How would you like me to sit? What would be the best?
Okay. Now you can just, if you just sit on the end, facing that way.
Okay.
And we're just going to use this spray here, just again to give us a really quick, good adhesion across the back. Just bring that arm out this way for me. There we go. It's a little cool. Okay, so bring that arm back. So this is where it's really different to what you do with kinesio and things like that. This is going on in a short position, so as we lengthen, we're going to get that real stretch, that real recoil, and that real bungee effect. And we're going to spiral around the arm, so we take up all the soft tissue tension, so we get a really good grip on your arm, a really good purchase on that lever. Make sure we don't pull on here. You can see the skin here. That's going to give a reaction. So we've got to put about 2 inches, 5 centimeters or so without any tension, and then hold that down, so that now when I actually take up the slack in the tape, I don't get that pulling and that tension through here. And you don't need to stretch the tape. That's probably a common mistake. You don't need a lot of tension. You just got to take up the slack, because we're going on with the arm already back. It's as it comes through that creates the tension for us. We're going to sweep around and then come across the back of your shoulder here, and then back down through the trunk as well.
Let me turn around so that they can see what that looks like on camera.
Sorry.
Now this adhesive spray makes it stick like crazy. Like this will stick in the water if you give it just a little bit of a chance. Eh?
Absolutely, yeah. Hold it down really well is probably the key with your adhesion.
Yeah.
You know, hold these ends down for a good 30 seconds or a minute. Get that good bonding, and if you've got a good, you know, at the outset, it's going to last you really, really well.
Okay, let me turn around and let them see that. Now, how did you tape it around the back, and what are you trying to support around here?
So we're trying to come all the way through here so that we get a good pull basically on your shoulder blade as well. So if I just finish on here, I'm only going to affect your arm relative to your shoulder blade. If I want to actually be directly pulling the shoulder blade, I've got to anchor it off here somewhere.
Yeah.
But also, as you swing through and rotate your trunk, this is going to give you some deceleration from that trunk rotation.
I can feel that like crazy.
And if I really wanted to, I could actually continue this all the way down across your hip, and as you come through and rotate it and tighten it up even more, you know, if we wanted to.
Now, this can also be done in conjunction with other taping.
Absolutely. You know, you may want to do some other things and do an offload, take some more weight of the arm. Some of our other problems, we might combine it with an athletic tape, a rigid one, to give us a bit of a lock to the joint as well. So it depends on what we're after. We can, you know, do one or the other or both together.
Now, we filmed some other taping techniques at volleyball1on1.com, as well as if you visit dynamictape.com, you'll get to see some other videos with some more advanced techniques. Okay, wow. I just feel that. It's like crazy. It's like totally supported this whole area. So it's like, I don't feel, it's so different. It's the stretchiness. It's like the load decrease. That's what you're talking about.
That's right. So it's got that spring effect there, so you can still get through range, but it's doing some of the work for you. It almost wants to spring you back the other way.
What's interesting is I have full range of motion. I just feel like I'm fast. It's like almost like those new those like Under Armour clothes and stuff that they have right now. They're like, oh, you wear this special jacket, and that's how I feel. I don't know if that makes sense for you guys. Interesting. Okay, cool. If you're interested in getting some of this tape, visit dynamictape.com. Also, we're giving a free sample away at volleyball1on1.com. We've also shot some other interesting videos for you volleyball players and coaches, including other injury preventions using this biomechanical tape, as well as some ways, and this is, you know, cutting edge stuff, where we basically show coaches or players how to change and improve their form by taping. Again, we're going to be giving away the tape as well as a roll of the adhesive, a roll of the tape and some of the adhesive spray at volleyball1on1.com.